Good evening, everyone. How is everyone today? Or this evening, I should say. How are we doing? I am trying to get everything set up, so give me just a minute. If you're online, say hello. Tell me where you're from. Okay. And we'll get started in just a minute. So hang on. Let's hope I. Hey, Cindy. Okay, so you guys can see me out there. All right. Awesome. Okay. Just in case you didn't get the notification on Facebook or by email, we do have a sale going on right now. We're celebrating 11 years owning Brush, and I'm giving a 15% off of anything, even sale items. So, not just brushes, product and everything. Hey guys, looks like a lot of you are getting on. So, take advantage of that sale, okay? Code KALA, KALA 15 when you check out. And that's good through the 5th. It says down at the bottom of the ad there. Hey, Patty, Gail, Lynn, Renee, hello this evening. Doris, everybody's on there. All right. Hey, guys. I was having technical issues earlier, so I was like, oh no, not again. It's just, but anyway, let's cross our fingers that everything goes well. So, how is everybody tonight? Good? And I'm looking at two different feeds of questions. Hey, Lucy, Deborah, Patricia, we got a whole bunch of people on. Hey, Jan, awesome. So, I did this pumpkin. I had this idea in my head. I've been looking at a lot of other people are doing pumpkins in different styles, and it's not as easy as you think to transfer something you see done with acrylics or um, with any other non-fired product into a fired. So it's a guessing game what's going to happen. But I got lucky and it worked. So I'm pretty pleased with it. So welcome everybody. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera down and we will get started. Okay. I do want to show you a couple of things. So if sunflower on the search bar at the top of the website, it'll pop up where it's at. But or you can look under clay share, and I believe I put it September and this month for clay share. I'm actually teaching this in Alabama in a week. We've added that to the schedule. All right. This is another one that's kind of cool. Renee has done a different version of this one. So that's just blue and white using the mop brushes. Kind of cool. You can change up the colors. And then we got Miss Aloha, the chicken, the rooster, whatever you want to call her. So she is pretty cool. So that's another free one. And then the oak leaves. Sorry, I got a glare on that. So all of these are free. The patterns are out there on my blog. Take advantage of those guys and make some easy, quick Christmas gifts. Okay? Just a thought. They're free videos, free patterns, the whole 9 yards. Okay? So take advantage. I'm having streaming problems. Doris says my network keeps cutting out. Is it me or is it just some of you? Somebody tell me. Hey, Rosemary, tell me if it's me. Hey, Lori from Lake Mary, Florida. I know where that's at. Gail from Idaho. All right. So here's our pumpkin. And I used a blue and a turquoise color together, even though you can't even see the blue as much, but you're going to see it as I do the project, okay? If you downloaded the pattern from the blog page the other day, go back out there and download it again. I added a couple of different, and I added sunflowers and leaves, and then as I got going on this, I was like, okay, that's way too much time, so I just did the pumpkin. But I did put smaller sizes out there for you, so you don't have to size it down, okay? You can transfer this one I did and have fired. This one is stoneware, which I did originally. And then on the stoneware, I just used an ultrafine Sharpie marker and went over the lines, okay, and it bled through, and that's what gave me my pattern. You can also use what's called clay carbon. You can find it all different places. You can also, those receipt books that are carbonless, you can use that. And you have to just You see the mark? It came off. So there's a right and a wrong side to it. So put it down. There you go. All right. So um, we're going to start with the background. And I'm just going to set this one off to the side. I put the pen freezing, but you can follow along. So somebody tell me if on Facebook and somebody on YouTube tell me if it definitely is me, or I don't know that I can do anything about it, but because it definitely is better. Okay, that would be my recommendation, if you can. All right. Okay, so what I've done is I've started this background. You can kind of see that I've got some blue on there. So what I've done is I've taken powder blue, CC 144 powder blue. These are the translucent 50/50 with gloss medium. Okay, so Rosemary says YouTube is buffering bad. And I don't understand that because I'm directly connected. It's not saying any frames are dropped or anything. So we're just going to have to go with it. I do have a video of this already pre-recorded, so I can put it up later also. YouTube is a mess, Ginger says. Okay, well, I'm going to go on with it, and then hopefully it'll get better, okay? So I've mixed these two 50/50, okay, here in this paint well. And then what I did was I'm taking some water and putting it in another well, and we're going to create a wash. A wash is you always start with the water, add the color to it, because if you add the water to the color, you're going to end up with a lake before you have a wash, okay? It's just too much. So always dampen your brush first, blot it. I'm going to take a healthy scoop of that blue into the water, and I'm going to mix it in really well, get it off of my bristles of my brush, and keep it mixed up. Now the color is heavier than the water, so it falls, okay? It's getting very frustrating to the point that you don't even want to do anything the way some of these networks are. Okay, so what I'm doing, what I call my slip slap mush mush, and I just constantly change the direction that I'm going so that I don't get what I call footprints and you have just or rabbit tracks, because if you just lift and you get exactly a pattern, and that's not what we're looking for. We want it to be random. You want it to be watercolory, almost like a China painted look. That's why I designed these brushes many, many, many moons ago, like almost 30 years ago, I think now. So they're a black squirrel hair. They're a very soft hair, not necessarily made for brush strokes, more for just application, watercolor, applying your underglazes, glazes. So I'm just constantly mushing it around and changing the direction of my brush. And the only time you see my brush is down, the only time my brush comes off is when I go pick up something. Now I let that set there, so I'm going to have to go back and kind of swish it around because it just kept absorbing. This is the stoneware, so it will absorb other videos. If you need help with that, you can Facebook. I switched and it's good. Okay, great to know, Deborah. Thank you. It's not good, but I'm here. So it was great to create. I had really stayed off my leg and put it up, and it's not much better. So I think I definitely have pulled something, but I don't have insurance, so I'm just going to baby it for a while and see what I can do. So dark there, it's like you can see a brush print, blend it out. That way it's not noticeable. Okay. So because the medium is mixed with the color, the word medium in the toll painting world, the non-fired or acrylic, is an extender and opener. So think of it that way. It keeps it open longer, allows you to manipulate and move it around on your piece. That's how bad it is. So I'm not going to touch it. Okay, so really good example of that. So see how yellow this is compared to this? Look, I did a purple one. I wonder why that's the reason I did purple. So I'm going to show you on that one later. Okay, stay with me. Okay, so the reason I'm using white on some of this is because of the fact that the bisque is not white anymore. Now, this stoneware has a cream tint to it, so even more reason if I want it to definitely be a white base. Okay, So what I've done here is we're going to get rid of that wash. And I'm just going to absorb it up. All right. So I'm going to take CC 102 Glacier White. Again, translucent underglazes. Okay. Get that chrome out of there. I'm kind of rusty. After not doing this for a while, it's amazing how much technology you got to go back and correct, and it's insane. But anyway, changed over also. Okay, so any of you that are still on Facebook, I would recommend you go to YouTube. I mean, I hate not because a lot of people don't like YouTube. Mix that up. So that's going to keep that color open longer and allow me to blend it and manipulate it. That all stirred up. Hopefully, I see that YouTube is buffering a little bit, but there's nothing I can do about it, guys. Okay, I'm going to load in the white mix. So this is CC102 mixed 50-50 with the gloss medium. So I'm fully 44 powder blue. And I'm going to start at the very, I'm going to go back and, or excuse me, the blue. Go back and add more blue. So what that does is just streak that color down into it. Okay, then at the bottom, it makes a difference the way you turn your, because you've got white in your brush and you've got that blue on it. So what happens is it ends up being more white in the middle, blue at the top, blue at the bottom, right? Now, when you look at this, you'd never know there's a white with it. It's toned down, even though it looks a little strong at the moment. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back around. I'm going to go white and I'm going to tip in the blue, just kind of generously, the tip of that, and then into the aqua. And I'm going to start it at the bottom and pull it up. If I feel like I need a little more, we'll go back and add more of these colors in a different way at the bottom. Now, you can see how it looks streaky. I'm going to blot out on my sponge that color. And I've got some gloss medium over here in another well. And I'm just going to grab the gloss medium, which is what I mixed with the colors, that streak or stop line. Switch back to Facebook. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure that it's me. I've got good connection, so I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just blot out the tip of my brush. I don't want to completely clean it. Load with that white, tip generously in the blue, and again, start at the top and come down. And for those of you that are my one-stroke acrylic people, keep watching my Facebook feed. I am going to do this with acrylics probably over the weekend if you don't have the Sumi, because we're going to use the mop brush later. I did it again, white and tip in the blue and start. Color is stronger at the bottom and just white as you're pulling it up. Reload as you need to. So hopefully you understand why I turned it, because whatever goes on the brush last comes off first. And so that's going to make that more blue down there. Now, if I have lines in here that I don't like, I'm going to go tip into my gloss medium and I can just work that color back and forth. Go back to the white, into the blue, into the aqua. I've got those lines and just soften that a little bit. So these are just multiple thin layers is what I'm doing. Multiple thin layers. I need to get, we're going to work with Nutmeg CC 181. It's a nice soft vintage brown look to it. Entrance. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of the white back in my brush and I'm going to grab into the nutmeg. So it's on top of the blue at the top there. I'm going to wipe. I'm going to go into my gloss medium and I'm just going to, if you can watch that, see how every time I touch that, it just softens that edge. I can rinse my brush also. And just with a damp brush, I can come in here. You don't want to fiddle with it too much because you're going to end up pulling it off. But you can soften it. We're going to streak some more colors in there anyway in a little bit. So don't freak out about it. Okay. And Facebook, whoever's on Facebook, I can't see the comments. So I will go back and look at those later and answer them. So I'm working on 04 bisque, stoneware bisque, excuse me, this time. The original plate was an earthenware, but I wanted to do a stoneware one so that you guys could see how it looks. So you see how I'm just streaking that down? I'm going to go grab some of the gloss medium and kind of work that back and forth. I'm going to rinse and just soften that. Okay. So that's what we're going to do on each section. Now, as you get to the smaller sections, you're going to have to go to the small sumi brush. And I've got a chunk of white in here. Okay, so white, powder blue mix. So these are, if you came in late, these are color concentrates, and they are, and I'm doing the white. You could do an ivory color, like if you have the color strokes and you wanted the 607 ivory, and that's why I was, so I'm just kind of getting that based in. I'm going to turn it around, white again, pick up that powder blue, and start it at the bottom. So you can see right where you set the brush. There's like a little print right there. So you have to move quickly enough that, especially on the stoneware, because it just sucks up all the moisture and the color immediately compared to earthenware. You have much more time on earthenware to move it around. The stoneware just grabs it like crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the white, pick and grab the aqua color. Okay, and then I'm going to wipe out the turquoise on the top of my sponge, grab the white, grab some nutmeg, and come from the top. Now, because the center one doesn't have any shading, but the side ones, I'm going to grab gloss medium again. And I didn't do this as much on the earthenware one. Like I said, this stoneware bisque just really grabs the color. Hey, Paula, Lucy, it's Susan. Hey, Susan, how are you? Okay, so I'm just softening a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go back to white. I'm going to side load, okay? So I'm going to drag the brush across the top, or just kind of lay it so it's just on that one side. And I'm okay, I'm going to turn it this way to do this side, because I want the darker color, or the nutmeg. Okay, not going to worry about going out of that section. All right, I can still do this section with the larger brush, but I need to mix up some more colors. From Washington State. Where else is everybody from? Ginger, Rosemary, Patty. Hey there. I didn't catch everybody coming on, so my apologies. You know, trying to do it by yourself and look up and paint and make sure you're on the camera gets a little crazy. Renee says she loves her sumi brushes. They are pretty nice. If you don't have them, they're on sale right now, the set, for $68.25. And guess what? That coupon, do you remember the coupon? Okay, I'm going to pop it up there one more time. So there is the coupon. We're celebrating the 11 years of Kala Brush. I designed these before I bought the brush company. So KALA 15, all caps, is good through the 5th of November. So if you're watching this later, that coupon code is not going to work. All right. Okay, so back to white. Tip in the blue pretty generously. Start at the top. Remember, whatever goes on the brush last comes off first. So that blue is at the top, and there's mostly just white there. So white is my carrier for everything else. I got over on that guy. And then I'm just going to go down and do that from the bottom. So I'm trying to create new techniques. This is something that I've never done before, but I'm trying to do it with products and brushes that you guys already have. And hopefully you like that. We're going to use the white CS later when we stencil, just FYI. So if you're ordering, that may be one color, or the clay share kit has the white in it also. Okay, so now I'm going to go white, blue, aqua, and pull it from the bottom. It makes it look like it's shaded kind of green or turquoise down there at the bottom. A little bit more of that aqua splash. And everything is mixed with the gloss medium. The Sumi brushes are just very soft, and they allow you to blend, and they don't leave a lot of what I call brush marks or brush prints. I kind of got out of my line, so I took a damp brush, blotted it, and then just swished that off. Now, as soon as that dries, I'm going to take, maybe I can now, I'll take that hair out of there in a bit. I don't, yes, the hairs will burn out, but I don't like to leave them in there because they can also burn the color off in that area. Yeah, I'll have to wait till it dries. And we don't want a line that ends up white or the bisque color. That would not look good. Thank you, Lucy. I'm glad you like the color. It was just weird. You wouldn't think, to use those, the blue and a turquoise maybe, and then the nutmeg. I was just trying to think vintage, old. What do I need to be able to? So now I white tip in the nutmeg and just feather it down. So when I say feather, I'm kind of lifting the brush as I'm getting down to the end of where I want it, which is like the top half. I'm still trying to get that hair out. And bisque really makes your hands dry. At least this bisque does on me. There we go. Sorry, that was bugging me. All right, so now I'm going to put the white back in, and I'm going to side load with that nutmeg to do your shading. It's better to do each section with all your colors. Kind of went cattywampus there. Because you're working wet on wet. Okay, so that's the key to that. So don't do everything from the top and then from the bottom. You don't want to do that. All right, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix this because I kind of got over onto my other one. So this is just a damp brush, and I'm just going to kind of wipe it off. Reloading white, tipping that nutmeg, and we'll just streak some more of that down because we're going to streak it on here anyway with the mop brush in a little bit. You could do your application with the mop brush. It's just with the Sumi brush, you can get to a point, you can tuck it in, and it just makes it, so I just rinse my brush and I'm just taking water and softening that edge. And I'm not going to worry too much about the rest of it. I'm going to switch to the small Sumi. Paula, do the collar brushes, Lucy's asking, also work with one stroke? Yes, they do. Actually, I had Miss Jan Mendel. She asked me that the other day, and yes, they do. A lot of the high-end acrylic, actually, collar brush, before I owned it, used to make brushes for Priscilla Hauser, believe it or not. They were Taklon ones, which is the golden Taklon. But yes, a lot of people do. You just need to clean your brush often and try not to get the color too far up into the ferrule where it's going to gum up in there. And then you're going to clean them a little differently, Lucy, is the base thing. You don't want to rub them across the rake on the bottom of your basin, where you've got the little stair steps. That's not good for them. They're natural hair, the Kalinskis. And then we do have some that are the Taklon, like I showed you. We've got, these guys. So there's sable brushes. There's Kalinsky sable. So this is a sable blend. This is a pure Kolinsky. You can see it's a little bit darker. So this has got sable and synthetic in it. This one is just Kolinsky hair. And Kolinsky means it's been dressed, it's been fine tuned, and they spend more time on it. Therefore, it costs more, is the basic. So you want to treat it like the hair on your head. You don't want to abuse it, would be the biggest thing that I can tell you, Lucy, about it. Okay. Um, yeah, Mary, you can watch later. I see a comment. Okay, so I'm going white, tip, and blue. You know, and I recorded this. I was going to play the recording. I'm glad I didn't because that probably would have made even more issues. Um, I can upload that one also. And about halfway, turn it around, pick up your white. I switched to the smaller brush because I've got a smaller area that I'm working in. And this bisque really, once again, in case you came in late, this is stoneware bisque that I'm working on right now. It really absorbs the moisture. Okay, so blue, and now we're going into aqua splash. It's a little heavy, so I gotta get it tiny, tiny, and then press down. You pay for all the hairs on the brush so you can press down and use all of them. And I know that sounds stupid, but you don't know how many people will paint with just color on the tip of their brush. So you really can use all of it. And when you put more pressure, it blends those colors together and allows the streaks of the colors to go up that section. And I'm just going to clean this with the damp brush. Did I say I'm a perfectionist? Kind of, sort of. All right. Well, hello, Miss Donna Dewberry. Are you on? I watched you earlier today. All right. So white. So the white that's 50-50. And now I'm going to go into nutmeg and start it. Remember, what goes on the brush first comes off last. So I want the nutmeg at the top. And I'm applying pressure, which is going to cause all those colors to move and blend through each other and give you different striations of color or streaks of color. If I want more nutmeg at the top, I can reload with both colors again and just feather it down. Remember, you can go into just the gloss medium and you can soften an edge if you think you need to soften an area. Okay, but we are going to put other things on here. Do the Kalas work for glass products? Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, we have, like I said, the Taklon, and then we have the Sables. So these are called the Golden Taklons, and there's a lot of specialty brushes. Just hit if you're on the homepage of the website, colorsforearth.com, which is at the bottom of my screen, and there's a rectangle button that says brushes. Go to it, and then you can see all the different ones that are out there. So I loaded in white, tip in blue. Now these sections on the back are smaller, and everybody is doing pumpkins of all kinds of sorts right now. So it's fun to see the different, and this is something that I saw, and I just thought it looked like fabric. And that's what my goal was to make it look like fabric. And I know the picture on the screen and this look different, but they are really the same piece. It's just the lighting in here. So if you wanted more greens, you could take a soft green, and then you could go to a turquoise. You could do the ceruleans. Like I said, I did a purple. I started it a couple hours ago. Look at that purple one. Isn't that going to be cool? And I'll tell you what I did on that one once we get to that. Okay. So the little chips that I have out here are the stoneware chips for our colors. And these are the colors that I'm going to be using. So this is the powder blue, the aqua splash, the nutmeg, and this is burnt sienna. So when I make my chips, I put my numbers on the back. Poke that hole in case you want to string them. Okay, so white load. I keep saying water. And then you got to be careful how much of that aqua you get on there because you got a tiny space here. So you could switch to the mini brush, but what do I normally say? The larger the brush, the softer the look. So the bigger the brush you can use in the area, the softer it's going to look. You won't see as many lines. Okay, I loaded in white. I'm going to tip in the nutmeg. So those of you that are one strokers, white tip in like coffee latte would be an equivalent. So on Sunday, probably Sunday afternoon, I'm going to do an acrylic pumpkin and make it look like this. All right. So watch for the notification. And I'll put out, I have a separate page for my one stroke on Facebook. If you guys, when I say one stroke, I'm talking acrylic painting. Okay. Just so those of you that know, look what I forgot to do. I forgot to shade that section. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to my large brush. I'm going to put some of the medium, the gloss medium that I'm mixing with the colors in my brush. And I'm going to side load in that nutmeg. I'm trying to think of which way I want to go. And I'm going to tuck that in. Can you see me? Yeah, I had to look up at the camera to make sure I was on. And float that color basically. So all I did was load with the medium that I've mixed with the colors. Like I said, it is so hard to transfer what you do in a non-fired product to a fired. It's not as easy. The fired, the non-fired, what you see is what you get. This, until mine was fired, I hesitated putting a picture because I didn't know if my brain said it was right, but I wasn't sure. You love the purple and amber? Yeah, I will. I'm purple and blues are my favorite color, but I really love this aqua splash though too. And I'm just taking water and kind of softening that edge. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put white in the brush, small sumi. I'm going to side load. I could have swore that I did this one back here. I think I just covered it up. So I'm going to add a little bit more on there. We're going to add some later too. But isn't that a cool way to just be able to blend the colors? I mean, it's so simple. Anybody can do this. I promise you. Okay. Hey, Ann Parcher and Julia. I can barely. I've got something on my screen that won't let me look at the Facebook comments. So if you joined late, I will go back and answer all your questions. So tip in the blue, the powder blue, and press down. So white and gloss medium, 50-50. Powder blue and gloss medium, 50-50. And pull down, and then I'm going to grab some more blue and do it from the bottom. And remember, the reason I turn it around is because what goes on first comes off last. So I want that blue, or whatever color I'm using, to be at the bottom. So it's blue, white, blue. I think you can see it there. And as soon as you put that turquoise color on there, the aqua splash, it just changes it completely. So load in the white mix, tip into the blue mix, tip into the aqua, and start that at the bottom because that's where I want that color. And bring it up. I'm going to just blot out the aqua, go back to white, tip into the nutmeg, and kind of streak that down. Now, if you get lines that you don't like, what do? Wipe that brush out and then grab some of the gloss medium and you can just feather it back and forth. Okay. All right. White, tip in blue. Keep turning your piece. Don't leave it sitting in one position. It makes it very uncomfortable. You don't get the same application. You're not able to turn your wrist and your piece to get it nice and smooth. So I just loaded in the white again, tip in the blue. I'm going to add it. It's hard to tell on the little sections, you know, that you've even got any blue there. Now I went kind of out of my line, so I don't want too much, even though I have the same blue as on the background in a wash. Okay, water or white. I don't know why I keep saying that. Blue, aqua. Aqua starts on the outside, and I'm going to tap some of that off because I feel like I've got a lot for this tiny little section. Is the reception any better on either platform, or is it still not good? Somebody tell me. Amber, tell me. Okay, I tipped into the nutmeg this time because I'm coming from the top. And this is, these are translucent underglazes. I've mixed them with our clear glaze. Now you're saying, but Paula, your clear glaze doesn't work on stoneware. As long as you're spot glazing, I call it. You don't want to clear glaze over the whole thing with my gloss medium, okay, with this guy that I've mixed. But as long as you're doing it in small sections, you're fine. On your stoneware pieces, you're going to, my preference these days is the Mako Stoneware SW004 Zinc Free Clear 2 coats is what I like. It helps hold the greens, the purples, the pinks, all of those things. I'm trying to get that little hair out there. And it's starting to loosen. There we go. I don't know if your hands are as rough as mine, but I feel like they're sandpaper. White, load in blue. And I may do both of these little sections at the same time since they are so tiny. So that's acceptable, but on the bigger sections, you want to definitely, I'm just going to put this over the whole area since it's very, very small. No, I'm not going to do what I said. I'm not going to do the other one. It's just easier if you do it the same way every time. See, I just about did it. The aqua would be on this end. Okay, I'm going to blot the aqua out, add a little bit of white. I'm going to touch in the nutmeg, but watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to just tap it a little bit to kind of blend it into the brush so that it's not really, really strong. White, tip in blue. Like I said, on these smaller sections, you can pretty much just paint those in. Now, on your pattern that I gave you, it had those leaves and it had sunflowers and stuff, so you could use what I did on that oak leaf platter last month for the clay share, and you could do that painting technique on them that way, if you want. Okay, a little bit of blue, a little bit of the aqua. I'm going to tap it just so I don't have so much. Blot that out. Not freezing up like it was. Okay, thank you, Amber. That's good news. Maybe, and I'm praying the rain holds off again. I lost power the night after the night tried to do the live. The next day I'm on a Zoom meeting and it blinked on me again. So I don't know what they're doing over here. They said I was there was 5% of the people in a 5-mile radius that was out. So I guess you could say I was special, right? Haha. Okay, now what did I forget to do? I forgot to do the nutmeg up the sides. Somebody should have said, Paula, didn't you forget something? So I added a little bit of the white back in my brush. You could add the medium, which is what I'm going to go to now. Side load. And bring that up those crevices to create your sections. So you could use any color combination with this. I think it would be blues, but I do everything in blue, so I was really trying to go with a different color palette because there's probably somebody saying, really, again, Paula, blue? But you know how you gravitate towards something? That's kind of me. Oh, maybe I can get rid of this fluffy, soft mop. I'm going to put some more medium out on my palette. Okay. So I'm going to load with the medium gel or your floating medium, and then you could grab into the color. We're going to start with the bottom and do the aqua. So I've got that into my brush. It's not soppy. I've drug it off the side to kind of get a chisel edge. And I'm just going to tip the end of it with the aqua and kind of pat it out, and I'm going to streak that up through there. And maybe I just want some here and there. You can go back and I don't feel like I got that blended enough. So you're just barely tipping. Somebody, can you see that there's very little pressure? Maybe I want some of that here. Okay, so very, very little pressure. Okay, so just touch and drag, wherever you would like some of those lines. And remember, this is thinned with the medium, so it may look dark, but it's not going to be as dark as what you think it is. But who thought you could shade with a crazy, huh? All right. So Cindy Lay says it's better on Facebook. Okay, so something must have changed. Of course, Friday night is probably not the best night to be on here. There's probably a lot of people on, and that may make a difference too. So just touch and just drag. It's almost like you're dry brushing that color. See that? And then when you get to the smaller sections, turn it on the edge instead of the flat. Turn it so that you can pull. Okay. So guess what we're going to do next? We're going to do the nutmeg the same way. So load with the medium, the gloss medium, tip into the nutmeg, kind of tap that, and get one more time, and we're going to do the same thing. Just very lightly. Okay. So tip. And you can put this wherever you want it. It's just to make it, it almost gives it kind of a, well, the fabric or like barn board kind of a look. But you're just barely, let me do this camera. See, I'm up on the tippy toes and I barely am touching that. So just barely. And you think you don't have anything on the brush, but you do. See that? Just barely dragging it. Grab some here and there in different areas. Grab a little bit more. Hopefully that helps show you how much pressure that I'm putting on the brush. Okay? All right. Oh, Shannon Riley, you and Rosie were talking about me today. Hopefully it was good. I hope. Right? That's why my ears were burning. No. I was running errands all day, picking up labels. I ran completely out of labels for the ceramic paint. I bought a while back 1,000 more. So now I got more work to do. All right, see that? And of course, when it's wet, you can kind of see it more. When it dries, it gets chalky. Okay. So you can put as much of that on there in the stencil. See those darker lines? So that's where I did that brown, the nutmeg. And you can see the lines coming up from the bottom. So start light and then work up darker. So you could start with, if you're doing blues, you could start with a light blue and then do a darker blue. And I haven't even done it on the purple one yet, so I can show you that after we get a little more finished on this. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to switch to the stubby brush, which is a mongoose hair. It is a natural hair, but it's a filbert. Filbert means it's, or a cat's tongue, some of us refer to it as. So it has a rounded tip. Mongoose is a stiffer, it's a shorter, and I'm going to use it because I want the stem to kind of have lines through it, even though I'm just going to load it in the nutmeg. But you're just kind of pulling it up to create those lines as you're blocking it in or filling it in. And that'll help create that stem look. And then when you get up here, you can kind of create like half moon shapes. I'm going to fill a little bit more in here. So kind of give it a curve to it, like it's twisted. And you can make that illusion as you're painting it. So you're kind of coming up at an angle. Okay, so that you can kind of, it looks kind of twisted, but it's all based upon how you, and we're going to shade this and add some more to it, how you do the application, because it is a translucent underglaze. You're going to see those strokes through it. Could you base it in a light brown and come back and shade and do all that? Yeah, but you don't have to. Not freezing up like it was. Lucy, could it be the internet channel are overloaded? Yeah, being a Friday night, that's what I said. Oh well, we're here, right? Okay, so I'm gonna add, I think I want a little bit more of that green or the aqua color. I want that a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna feather. Remember I said multiple thin coats is better than one thick heavy coat. So that's what I'm doing. Because if you put it on there heavy and thick and goopy, you're not going to get these little lines to make it look like you sit there and did a whole bunch of work and you didn't. You could do the comb brush. If you guys bought the comb brushes or the rakes, some people call them, you can do those also if you want. Okay. I just wanted a little bit more of that. Okay. Rinse your brush. Always lay your brushes flat to dry. Don't stand them up in your caddies, because what's going to happen? Water's going to run down in the ferrule, loosen the glue. If it's a wood handle, lay your brushes flat to dry. Use a good brush cleaner. Don't use Dawn when you're cleaning your brushes. So I use 37 bright violet and violet blue. I did not write these on that sheet that I put out there on the blog for you, okay? But I did the same thing. I loaded in the white color stroke. I base coated this with white also because this is a cream color. See the difference in that? It's yucky. Loaded in white. I tipped in the lighter purple, did from the top, did from the bottom, and then I grabbed into the second purple, and then the third purple was I'm going to feather that. Now, these are the opaque underglazes, so they're solid. Them up if you want. So I'm going back, grabbing the medium, grabbing that purple and kind of blending it out a little bit. So these are a lot stronger as far as opacity or making it more opaque. But hopefully this, you can think about using this with a different, you don't have to do pumpkins. It could be anything, really. I mean, you could use it on peppers. I mean, there's so many things. So I'm just going to grab some back here. It's hard with this bigger brush. And if I want a couple of little streaks. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try that darker purple. I'm not sure I need it, but I'm going to be very cautious with it. So I'm blending it out on my palette there. I think you can see that. Absolutely love the technique. Good, good. I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. It was just, I've been wanting to do this forever, and I had some other things I had to get done, paperwork, and I just had to tell myself I had to finish that before I could start creating again. So I have all these ideas in my head. I can't wait to sit down and paint more. But I got to watch because the knee doesn't like that sitting here. I need it with ice on it. So these will probably not get finished tonight because of the fact that I need to go get ice on the knee. But I will finish them over the weekend. Okay, so take this and kind of play with it and see what you want to do with it. But that's going to do it on this piece. Water in a mister bottle, not the big pump ones, the little spray ones like this. Stay about 6 inches back and mist it. And that's pretty much what it's going to look like when it fires. Don't use Dawn to clean. Correct, Jeannie. It's a degreaser. It will loosen the glue faster in the brushes. Just use Ivory soap, or the Plaid Brush Plus cleaner is good. There's other, Mako used to have a brush cleaner also. I don't want to spray this one because I wanted to be able to do the stencil on it, but you get the idea how you spray, and it'll tell you what it's going to look like. Okay, I'm going to bring this down. All right, so before I do the stencil though, let's do the dirty table look, or whatever you want it, the ground, whatever, and kind of start where you want it a little bit darker. Tap that in, and then just shimmy it off to the side. Remember, it's got medium in it, so you can come back with water and you can soften that. Do you see that? I mean, it's so easy to do. And I'm not worried about, that's just water on there. It's not a big deal. But if you want more ground or all this, but you could come back and shade it later. Water load, and I'm just tipping, so lots of water. You could use, if you were doing acrylics, you can use some of the floating medium, and then tip in the color and get the same effect. Okay, so you've just got some dirty shadows there. Okay, all right, so it was hard to find a stunt. This is, you can see it's a coupe, and it's about a, what, 1.5 inches swoop to it. So it's really, really hard. This is one that I used and showed in a different, probably gonna have white all over my face when I come up to the camera, because I keep the bisque sands off on me. So I determined you got to have something fairly flexible. You could even cut this one out. You could use something smaller. You know what? I may end up, I found this one. I couldn't find it. Oh, I kind of like that one, and it pretty much fits all over that, doesn't it? I think we should do a different one. I think we should do this one. But do you see how this is kind of a fan shape? So I just positioned it so that I could get most of it on there, and then did my stenciling, which I'm going to show you, but I'm going to use the other one. Okay, that way we have two different versions and you can see both of them. Okay, so you could take, you see how I just turned that in a triangle versus squared, because I don't get all the way out to the edge. So think about that, choosing your stencil. And I think I want to bring this over to this side so that I've got my tape. Okay, into a place for me. Okay, all right. You have to ice your knee also, Amber? Yeah, I'm supposed to have an MRI to really find out if I think I tore the meniscus or a muscle. But I don't have insurance, so can't afford it. So I'm home remedy is what I'm doing. Okay, because we want to cover the color that's already there, okay, you have to put down some white, okay, and you're going to use the opaque white, not the translucent, okay, or it's not going to cover. So you got to think about that. You could also use ivory. You could use, if you were doing a blue one, you could use the light blue. When I do the purple one, if we have time and you want to stick around, I'll show you what I would do with that. Okay. But start out with white and then go to the nutmeg is what we're going to use. So this is a 602 white, and my labels are very well used. Sorry. All right. And I'm going to use, this is the 20 stencil brush. This is the new ones. Larger brush, softer the look, quicker you're going to get it done, right? I may not need that. Okay, now this has got a lot of little parts. I hope it works, guys. I'm taking a chance here. All right, so I'm going to load just the tip. I'm going to tap it into it a couple of times. Then I'm coming over to the shop towel, and I'm going to rub most of it off. Okay, so, and you got to be careful not to go out, especially when you get to your other color, out over the edge of your pumpkin too. Tap it in, rub it off, circle to the left, circle to the right. And I'm holding it with my hand so that it doesn't move. So this one has a lot of little tiny parts, so you got to think about that. You may have to hold it down in different areas. That's why I've got it taped in one area so that I'm not going to lose where I'm at. Rub it off, circle to the right, circle to the left. And I'm going to do this twice is what I did on the other one. Very light coat. Very, 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 very light. But it's better. What if I said a couple times tonight, multiple thin coats is better than one thick, heavy coat. And I think that's the most common mistake that people make with any type of painting. They're like, oh, if I put it on heavier, I can get it done quicker. And it's not always the best thing. Okay, so we're going to peek at it. Can you see that? I think you can kind of see it. That's cool. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to do it one more time. Load, wipe off. I'm going to go over it quickly one more time. So this is just putting other color. Hold that as you're doing it. Go right, go left, so that you're getting in all the little crevices of the stencil you're using. Okay. Check it again. I can see it. So now I'm going to go to the nutmeg. Same brush. Tap it in a couple of times. So it's just on the very edge. You don't have to saturate. All right. And you could use any color. You don't have to use what I'm using. But you just need to think about what's going to cover. And the nutmeg will probably only be one coat because it's mixed with the gloss medium. So it's thin. And I just want it a hint of color. Just a hint. Now this one's going to have more, this stencil covers more, there's more of it. So it's going to look a little different than the other one, but hey, you know, we'll try it, see if we like it. If I don't, I'm sure I can throw it away. Oh no, I bet somebody would want it if I do that. How do you get a thin coat of paint by watering it down? No, what I did here was it's mixed with the medium. Remember, the nutmeg was mixed 50-50 with the medium. So the medium will help you retain that color, but it gives you a lighter version. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Is that cool? Holy cow. I like that. Can you tell? I'm excited. Now, if it got off, which I did this on the other one too, like some of it's down here, and I want to just kind of swish off pretty much the white. The nutmeg's no big deal. And you could come back and just add more nutmeg on there. But if you see an area that maybe you didn't want it out there, just come out with a damp brush and soften it. And I'm just pushing it back towards the pumpkin. What do you think, guys? You like? I gotta find the Paris over here. I bought the same one on Amazon, and I posted the picture of this the other day, and I used it here because I was going to use it out here, but it didn't look. I put it on two places and I wiped it off of the other one. So I thought, okay, I tested it here. I liked the look. So when I did the stenciling, I just took the stencil brush and feathered out from the edge. And I think I taped this, and I'll make a little short video for you. But that's how I got like the outer edge to show up, like it's the doily. So that's kind of cool. So this is same company, and it just says set of 4. I think it's called doilies, and this is a 4-inch size. They have it in 2 different sizes. So that's what I did on there, and then I just added some stroke work. Okay. So if you're ordering from them, check out. They've got some great stencils. I have only what I've got on the website, and then I'm not going to carry anymore. It's just too hard to have everything. I'm going to go back and add a little bit more of that underneath, just to make sure that there's no stencil that could sneak out on me. Okay. Now, the last thing you do to make it look like fabric, okay, even though we shape the vine around the edge, you know, type of things that you can see there on the photo. Now, if you don't know where to put your pattern back, you can take this guy here. You can line it up, use your watercolor marker, that Staedtler Tri-Plus Fine Liner. Let's see if I can line it up. I don't know if I can or not. There we are. And you can just kind of make some dot. I don't think I need it, but I wouldn't use the Sharpie. Okay, but if you needed to, I've showed you in other videos, you can come in here and you can just make dots. And I'm going to kind of outline my stem here so that I can see where that's going. Okay. All right. And then just come back in. You can float it with the square shader, or you can use the sumi brush. I'm going to use the square shader. That's my preference. And I'm just going to water load it, drag off to a point, riding the brush towards me, corner in the nutmeg, blend that on your palette, and just come in and shade right, put the color next to the section, water load, and you do that every single time. Blend, blend, and I'm actually going to do that again just to make it a little bit darker. Water load, and I'm rinsing my brush every time. Corner. This stencil is awesome, Renee. Yeah, check it out. They have got some, I mean, she's constantly, Chris, that owns the company, is always coming up with new stuff. And she had actually done, you've put that stencil in each section versus all over and then just shade. And it was brilliant. And I'm like, I got to do that on something. So between that and all the pumpkins that are floating around, that's what inspired me. Is Facebook Live. And when they do that, they have like rock bottom prices. I mean, it's amazing. For each time. And I'm just going back and forcing that section. Now, up against your stem, you need to go both sides of it. Okay. So are you guys going to do some pumpkins or some other shapes? Or you could do this on anything. I mean, it's endless. Endless. I hope to see you guys do a lot of different. And it's fairly easy to do. You don't have to have a lot of skill. You don't have to do a lot of brush strokes, even though I'm going to do a brush stroke around the edge. The one that most people hate, the wedge stroke. Of course, it's my favorite. All right. I'm glad you like it, Anne. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, the Dawn you don't want to use because it will definitely loosen the glue and the hairs. the ferrule, the whole 9 yards. It's just not good. It's great for grease and duck feathers, getting grease out of duck feathers, but not the best on your brushes. So just use, or like I said, some of the brush cleaners that are out there are great. Mako used to have a blue brush cleaner. I don't know if they still make that or not. Um, I don't think Duncan has one anymore. And then Plaid has a good one, the Brush Plus, and I've showed that on other videos. You can't have everything. And every time I'm loading, I've got the writing of the brush towards me. If you'll do that, you'll always load the same corner and you won't have a problem. So on stem, I'm going to do those sections. I'm going to reinforce that a little bit so that it, and then we can come back with burnt sienna also. I did use a little bit of it on the stem, and I just used it full strength, but I'm going to take the liner brush, the 3600 number 2 liner, water, always wet your brush first. I'm going to go in, I'm probably going to have to mix some more of that nutmeg. Go into the nutmeg, and then you can drag through the burnt sienna. Don't forget to put your medium with your nutmeg. And since I'm getting ready to use it, I am going to mix with the brush. Otherwise, I would have done it with the handle. So fully load that brush, get it worked up, go through the burnt sienna, and you can just kind of lay it down and you can swoop in more strokes just to give that a little bit of a, and add it just so that I can kind of blend that. It's going to keep that open longer and make it not so, and just kind of press and pull and just kind of at an angle. Okay. And same thing here, you can just pull up. I'm just grabbing some dark in there so that, okay, I'm going to grab some of the medium, both of those browns, and then I can come off of that. You can also, you can outline with this if you want, very loosely. I wouldn't do a real harsh line, and keep some of that medium in your brush so that it keeps it very translucent. So I'm just going over and dabbing into the medium as I'm working. And you can just hit and miss. You don't have to do the whole thing. Medium, nutmeg, a little bit of burnt sienna. Just be careful you don't get too overloaded on that brush, because you don't want this to be too, let's, and just kind of gently drag it. And I'm not making a full line. I'm just kind of hit and miss. Very loose. Medium, nutmeg, burnt sienna. All right, so Renee, are you going to do this color, or are you going to do a different color pumpkin? I know you did purple on your, the blue flower one that I did. What are some of the other things you think you can use this on? Does anybody else got any ideas of different subjects that this would look cool on? You could do, I was trying to think. You know, you could do it on a Christmas tree. You could do each layer of the branches. I know Mike's been doing, you know, his clay puzzling trees. Think about it. You could take and do each branch, just feather up some color. That might be kind of cool. I wanted him to send me one of those so I could paint on it. I don't know if he saw my message or not. Hint, hint. Okay, so you can just come back with that. Now I did come in and put, well, I've got some curly cues there. So let's see if I can get it. And because this is so thin with the medium, it's not on here, right? So you've got to be very careful about that. So don't go too full strength on me. And odd numbers, so let's put one over here. Okay, so same thing for your edge, if you want to do. Now this has a rim here. I'm not sure, I should back off. I'm not sure if I want that on this edge. I guess I will. Okay, so you've got those browns, and then I'm going to come, and I just started making wavy lines, and then pull some out. Keep your gloss medium, nutmeg, burnt sienna, and bring some out. I haven't even looked at the time, guys. Are you guys staying with me, or you want me to quit? I know some of you like to see the whole project, so that's why I'm continuing. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel, so you get notifications when I go live or upload a video. And if you'll like the video, that will help me continue to make these for you. It allows YouTube to put us out there in front of other people that maybe didn't know we were there. So share it. You can share it to your page on Facebook or... Okay. You're staying. Okay. You're my studio company. Okay, that works. I do that a lot with other people. It's like, yeah, purple definitely, Renee says. Okay. Was thinking some earth tones as well. Yeah, the nutmeg would still pull in good with that. I could actually do... I'm not sure that I want the nutmeg in the stencil though. Let me think about it while I'm doing this. I'm not sure. I forgot to pull some lines out. Did you guys see that? You're staying? Okay. You're not bored with me yet. I haven't been on here in so long. And then when I tried Tuesday and that whole electricity thing, that was like, okay, are you trying to tell me something or what? We've had rain for 3 or 4 days, and it wasn't even raining that day. That's what I didn't understand. It was like, what the heck? They were just had it against me, I guess. Didn't want me to go live. And I was beginning to think today was going to be the same thing. Couldn't believe. Kind of cool. White to that aqua splash, some white CC. Just because I want to tone it down a little bit. I don't want it to be really strong, because I want it lighter. And that's what I did when I did this one. That's that go around the edge. Did that take it away? No. Yes, it did. Okay, I'm moving that picture out of the way so you can see. All right, so let's mix this in. So this is Aqua Splash CC White 102 LE003 is Aqua Splash, and medium. I could add a little more medium. Yeah, don't really need to, but I think I need more nutmeg. See the difference in the color? Can you see that? See the difference in that? How red the new is, and then, oh, because I grabbed the wrong color. Holy moly, Paula. That's why it's... Now we'll mix up some new nutmeg. See, Paula makes mistakes too. Hey, if I don't make them, you don't know how to fix them, right? I'm human. I'm still trying to recover from all this, I tell you. Okay, so you're going to start with your light color, okay? Basically is what you're going to do, which is your Aqua Splash and white. And this is the 5200 number 8 fully load. So that means shampoo that brush. And I need to wipe off do this. Oops. And like that. Okay. Let's turn this over. So fully loading the aqua, riding the brush towards you, corner in the nutmeg, blend, flip and blend. And what do we do the first time we load? We do it twice. And then I'm going to turn the brush over because I want the nutmeg against the vine. And I'm just doing that wedge stroke. So it's press, pull, slide, and pull off. Now, I have a tiny flag on my brush. If you watch that flag, it never moves. It doesn't twist or turn. So press and slide off. Press and slide off. Press and slide off. Okay? That's what we're going to do. And then riding the brush towards me for the brown. And I always have to check. Trust me, I talk to myself when I paint, just as if you guys were here. So I'm going to just alternate these kind of back and forth. That edge is not my friend because this is like a rippled edge, and it's going to cause, because we're not outlining this at all. I'm just going to pick up what I've got there on, yeah, so it's, and I'm just going to go around. So you could put as many as you want on here. I just did it wrong. Just about did it. Okay. I think I need a new square shader. See, I'm getting these little, I don't get crisp lines. It's because I've used this brush really well. I'm going to see if I've got a newer one. Hold on. I'm going to try this one. Wet. And this has got a bigger flag, so you'll be able to see it. Writing, blend, blend. Much better. Much better. I'm stingy. I hate to break in a new one if I don't have to. Isn't that terrible? Sometimes you can go right back and pick up what you've got there. And I'm keeping the dark or the nutmeg towards the branches or the vine. Every 2 to 3 strokes, you'll need to reload and constantly blend. I'm anxious to see how dark this stoneware one, because remember, these are our colors that we're using here. So it's going to be a little darker, I think, than the earthenware one. I always like to compare them because we've got, you know, a lot of people that do earthenware and people that do stoneware. I like both of them. But I really, really like the Mako stoneware. I have a lot of different pieces. It's just enough time to sit and paint. I think I can do this. Got to make a plate. Okay, awesome. I can't wait to see what you do. I know a lot of you clay share people will message me and it's like, okay, will this work? Will this work? And that's fine. And the nice thing is this video is going to be out there and you get to go back and rewatch it, refresh your memory. You can stop it, do it, start it again. I actually had to go watch the video. I mean, I painted it right before I was going to go live Tuesday. So it was fresh in my mind. I had to go watch my own video. That's the way that I videotape things because I never know what I'm going to do with it. So what do you think? There you go. See how simple that was? You could even, you know what we could do just to make this one even more different. Did I shade around that stem? I can't remember. I don't think I did. I think I want to put a little more, just the burnt sienna, just a tiny bit on the inside to set it down just a little bit further. than the rest of it. And this is itty bitty. Kind of swoop it up the side. Let's put some dots like berries, but we'll do them in the turquoisey, the aqua color. I think that'd be kind of cool. So just using the handle of a brush, you could come in here and, oh yeah, I think I'll like that. So these are graduated dots, okay? If you load once and press it and keep going, they get smaller. If you load every time, you would get the same size dots. That's kind of cool. I like that. Shows you another variation. And this is great if you had something like I got a line that doesn't connect or something, you could use this to hide something. So think of it that way. There, I should have had more vines, so I'll just put them there. So put in the comments what you would like to see, if there's another subject that you would like to have demoed or a technique. Let me know, because sometimes I run out of ideas. And I don't like to repeat too much stuff because the videos are out there. But when we do have a lot of new people, I will tend to go back and repeat some things. Pretty cool. I like that. Thank you. I still have my brushes that I got from the other company back in 2002. Oh my gosh, when it was Kala, you bought some, and you know Ruth made all the brushes herself. I can't do that. I don't have enough time. There's not enough time in the day for what I do. That sounds terrible. Well, hi Kyle. How are you this evening? My son is on Facebook. How are you? So now I'll have two. So look at that. Look at the. So just the difference in the stencil. Oh, let's spray it so you can see it. Okay. So I used the different stencil on this one, but remember, stay 6 inches back. Ooh, look at that. It's like Christmas when you open the kiln, right? Doesn't everybody? Isn't that pretty? Wow. Love it. Love it. So I used a different stencil than this one. So two different looks. It just looks like fabric, that I've taken and kind of squished it up and put ribbon like between the sections to tighten it. I think that's so cool looking, right? I have two other pieces with pumpkins already traced on them, so I'm going to do other colors. So let's quickly go to the purple one and figure out what color we're going to do and what stencil. What do you guys think? I think I'll go back to this one. I have a smaller version of it. Yeah, no, I'll use the bigger one, maybe, and just move it down. Okay, so, all right, Renee, you're still out there? Do we go 37? We got to go white first to block it out. All right. Rosemary said, great project. Thank you. You're welcome. I'll see you in a week, right? Yeah. I'm driving down next Friday to Northport, Alabama. Teal. Oh, yeah. Amber. That's right. So go with the aqua splash, you think, on there? Is that what you guys think? Go with the aqua? You're going to enjoy this, I can tell. And Renee, too. They are, Renee and Cindy are some of my teachers. So what do you think, Renee? You think I should go with the aqua? Or we could go blue, right? A vintage Christmas tree. Yes, Patricia. I think that would be very cool. What color of blue though? Go with the sapphire. I think that would be we'd have to thin this way down. But that, you think? Maybe. or yellow. No, I know yellow and purple go together, but I don't think that would. If you went a yellow, you could go yellow ochre, like a golden yellow would work, like a saffron. Yeah, I don't have the saffron out here, but this would be an equivalent to it. That would be golden. You guys are making me crazy. Maybe yellow. All right, Renee, come on, tell me, tell me. Cindy, are you still out there? What do you want to do? Cerulean? I kind of like the blue. I'm a blue person though, so teal. How about we mix these two 50-50? I gotta go. Okay, Lee. See you later. um, I'm thinking maybe mix these two together, 50-50, and do it. Give it a little more towards the blue side. Let's go for it. Let's see. I'll do yellow on one of the other ones. Okay, I promise you. I'll put it on there. All right. So I just added some in there. I am going to add a little more of the medium just because we've added too much paint. 50-50 works, Renee says. Okay, good. All right. Sometimes I get tired of making the decisions, you know? It's like, ugh. It's kind of like, you know, asking somebody, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want? Well, it's the same kind of thing. Uh-oh. I got blue on there. Crud. Oh, well. Okay. I'm going to move this other one out of the way because I know what will happen. You could even splatter with the nutmeg on that other one, which would look really cool. I almost did that. The other thing that I thought about was putting some of the crystals, like sprinkling them on there. Renee, think about that. I don't know if you have any of the crystals, though. That would be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm still... I'm toying with that blue. No, beyond. Just get you some more painter's tape. Just because I can, I am going to do that a little bit because I'm tired and I might. So you could take any stencil you're working with and you can use the painter's tape, and that just is. And wipe that nutmeg out. If I don't like it, I can put the blue over it. I'm going to grab that 50-50, work that in. I didn't do white. Somebody didn't remind me. I might not need white. I think I do. I'm going to use a different brush for the white. Darn it. See, I get to talking and then I forget what I'm doing. All right, let me put this on here real quick. Right, left. I got a part of my stencil is up. It's bent up. These that have so many little parts and stuff, they're so hard to keep them. I need to find a good way to store them. I need to put them in. I bought some big, they're like a sheet protector, but they're not. It's for some scrapbooking stuff. But these have been laying out, so. Okay. Now I'll go back to the mix. So, Kyle, if you're still out there, your other mother is on YouTube. We call Renee his other mother. How old was he, Renee, when we were all together doing stuff? 13, I think, maybe? It's an inside. She's on YouTube, on Facebook. Okay. This is light. But that's kind of pretty. That's kind of pretty. I'm going to go one more. So you could go, the reason I added the medium is to tone it down, and I added the white, which toned it down. You can also tap when you're doing it. If you've got these real intricate ones, it might be, just be careful you're not leaving little brush marks of that tapping. Do it and do it evenly if you're going to do it. Okay, here we go, the reveal. Not too bad. Now remember, I'm going to shade on top of that and do the stem and everything. So I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, that looks ugly. And then I'm also, because it's got the medium in it, and I do have white on this base. And I'll probably take purple and shade the bottom, under it like I did the nutmeg on the other one. Those of you that are in the Fort Worth, Dallas area, I don't know if anybody's on here that's from here. There is the DFW ceramic show going on. I found out last night, and I went over there today. So if you're in the area, you may want to go. It's at the Knights of Columbus in Arlington off of Cooper. You can search for DFW ceramic shows on Facebook. That's how I found it. And there you go. So I'll put darker purples on the stem, but isn't that cool? What do you think? You like it? Renee, do you like it? You may want to try a different color. You may want to try the blue instead. Let me just show you real quick since I'm here. I might as well shade real quick. Let's look and see what it's going to look like. See if I'm going to like this or not. Oh yeah, that's going to look nice on there. You guys are sticking with me, huh? It's like, I don't know if you guys do this, but once you get into something and do it, it's like you just almost can't put it down. I'm that way. And I'm trying to do things that are out of my norm, get out of my box, so to speak, because I'm trying to expand my horizons. So you think this works? I think it works. What do you think? Isn't that cool? You like it, Renee? Awesome. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I may have to find a tree to try this. Or I guess I just draw it up, and do it with it. Because, think about it. You could use, I like the scrolly stuff for the vintage, but you could do like the holly stencil that I have. I think I still got some of those. You could do that on the tree. I mean, there's just so many, remember, your imagination is your limitation, guys. And if you got a question, you think something's going to work or not work, you can't figure it out, message help. Or I'll tell you, like, I don't think so. Very cool. Good, good. You're loving, you love expanding horizons. Yeah, it's hard to do. We get stuck in a rut doing the same thing over and over. And I've been doing this for so many years that I have to come up with new stuff or you guys won't come back. Right? I mean, I've been doing this, what, 33 years? My youngest? Actually, probably 36, but all right. I think that's pretty cool. And then put a dark purple stem on it. If I'd thought about it, I could have done that other stencil would look really cool in the background. I may have to go back and try to do that later. And just, can you imagine if you had that one in the background and just do it in ivory? I may have to mask over that or something and try it. I don't know. Anyway. All right, guys. I hope you like this. Let me switch. Yay, I'm tired. All right. So I can't wait to see what you guys do. Thanks for sticking with me. And I'll check out the replay and see if it's really bad. If it is, I will get that other video done up tomorrow and put it out there. Okay. So tell me what you'd like to see next. Okay. I don't know that anybody put that in the comments. I'm looking at both feeds. I can't see that, but I'll go back and check. Okay. All right. You guys have a great weekend. Love you. And I'll see you next Tuesday with glass. We're going to do glass next Tuesday. I have a rooster that I'm going to do on a prismatic textured background. It's already sketched on there. And so that's we're going to do a watercolor type thing on that. So, all right, guys, bye. Have a good evening.